Speed is arguably one of, if not the most important physical trait that you need to have as a footballer. Now, you could be super technical, you could have the quickest feet, you could have the best shooting, but if you lack speed and the ability to accelerate, it's unlikely you're going to reach the highest level possible. However, don't panic, don't worry, you are able to improve your sprint speed, you've just got to be training in the right way. Personally, I've improved my sprint speed and my acceleration loads within the last 6 months. I've seen huge gains and improvements in my form, my technique, and also my overall acceleration and top speed. So without further ado, I'm going to get into a 30-minute session that you can do that is guaranteed to improve your sprint speed and acceleration. Let's go. So like any session, I always start with the dynamic warm-up. Here you can see I'm working on my shoulders and arms a bit, just warming them up as they're a key mechanic when it comes to sprinting. After this, I warm up my hip flexor and my hip joint just by opening and closing the gates. Then I'll warm up my hamstring, just kicking out in front of me, getting a nice stretch and feeling the contraction as I bring my leg back down, before moving on to some band work. So I grab my band, place it around my ankles, and I'm just kicking out in front of me with a straight leg, warming up my hip flexor and my quad, just avoiding any injuries and bringing more and more blood flow to these areas. Going sideways, working on that abduction, backwards, just firing my glutes, some knee drives just to pump my hip flexor, get them super activated as it's a key muscle when it comes to sprinting. Before finally I'll finish with some monster walks, just bringing more and more blood into my glutes, getting super warm for the sprints. I'll move on to some coordination work. So this is just about form correction and technique. I'll pump one knee up whilst driving the opposite arm, just working on those basic mechanics when it comes to sprinting. I'll do different types, so I might do more than one step, just to really pump my legs, driving my arms as well. Then I'll face sideways. This one is pretty difficult, so give this one a go and let me know how you find it. Just that lateral movement as well. Obviously in football, everything is side to side as well as straight up and down, so working on this a lot. So the next bit of the session is the footwork. All you need here is 2 cones, and similar to what we just worked on, we're going to be driving our knees and our arms up and down, dodging those cones and hurdling over them. We're going to do this for 30 seconds on and then 30 seconds off before moving on to steps forward and steps backward. All of these are really activating your fast twitch muscle fibers and allowing you to feel as explosive and powerful as possible. The next section is all about sprinting in a different direction to where you're originally facing. So as you can see, I start in a side shuffle, and once I reach that white cone, I'm twisting and accelerating away another 20 yards. Then I'll go backwards, so I'll be jogging backwards as if I'm jockeying, and then spin and sprint as fast as I can. These are really good and very game realistic for football. For the last section, we're going to reach a top speed, and then once we hit that white cone, we're going to slow and decelerate and try and stop before the yellow cones. Deceleration is a huge part of football. The game is constantly changing, the ball will get switched, someone might pass the ball around you, you're always going to have to stop and slow down. Being able to decelerate as quick as possible is great for avoiding injuries and just improving overall sprint speed. Once this was done, I did a quick cool down, just focusing on my hip flexors and my hamstrings before just taking off my boots, which is always such a great feeling after a tough session. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, drop a comment on what you want to see next, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.